Hello and welcome to this video tutorial about creating and working with calendars in Sesame. In this tutorial, we will be working in the Scheherazade module. The calendar view is used to create various calendars for your lab to schedule, reserve, or track events, production schedules, room or instrument reservations, etc. Today, we'll create a calendar to function as an ultracentrifuge sign-up sheet. First come, first served. The calendar will be open to all members of the lab and will allow read-write permissions. For this simple calendar, we will also only need to show who has taken a calendar slot. To begin, in the Options menu, scroll to New View and select Calendar. A new calendar window opens in the board. The upper part of the calendar window shows calendar settings, and the bottom part of the window is the calendar itself, ready to schedule events. The upper and lower parts of the calendar window may be resized by dragging the divider. You may set the calendar to private by checking this box here. By default, calendars are viewable to everyone in your Sesame lab unless this is set to private. Only the owner of a calendar may change the privacy setting. Status is a drop-down list of calendar record status choices. The choices are read only, meaning the calendar is modifiable only by its creator, or read write, meaning the calendar is open for modification by anyone who can see it. Labs may use read only for meetings maintained by an administrator, instrument usage that must be approved, etc. Read-write calendars may be used for resources that are first come, first served, instruments, hoods, etc., or wherever it makes sense to have a calendar that's open for modification by all the members of the lab. I'll choose read-write. Type is a drop-down list of calendar record type choices that are set by the lab master. Our list includes centrifuges, classes, meetings, etc. We will choose centrifuge. Enter the title of the calendar page here. Let's save this now. Under Calendar, choose Save as New Calendar. The first fields for database number, created and modified dates, and lab are populated automatically. If you would like to add a description for the calendar, do so in the description field here. Past access allows the owner to define how many hours previous to the current time the calendar may be modified by adding, deleting, or modifying calendar slots. The maximum is 1 year. Let's choose 48 hours. The field No Overlap, when checked, prohibits overlapping calendar slots except for all-day events. Only the calendar owner may check this field. Let's mark this as No Overlap. Show What is a checkbox that designates whether the entry in the calendar slot What field is shown on the calendar. We'll leave this blank. Show Whom is a checkbox that designates whether the username of the calendar slot creator is shown on the calendar. Let's check this. If you would like this calendar to be visible via the internet, click the Web Visible box here. Let's select this now. When this is marked, you may retrieve a URL to share the calendar online. If your calendar is marked private, you must also include a web token to make it web visible. This works well also for non-private calendars if you want to limit the calendar's visibility. Let's save this. This time I'll choose Save Calendar from the button bar. Linked items is a list of Sesame records that are linked to this calendar record. This table may contain links of any type that are related to this calendar and are relevant while working in your lab calendar. For example, a citation with a manual for this instrument. There are many possibilities. Another example could be if this were a production schedule, links to a protein record, etc. Let's add a link to a citation that includes the ultracentrifuge manual. To create a link between records, open the record you want to link to, in this case, a citation record for the manual. Let's go to the Linked Items field in the record we want to link to and grab the row that starts with this record. Drag it to the calendar and drop it in the title bar here. Confirm your choice in the pop-up window. Now this calendar is linked to the citation in the manual, hence it is easy to navigate from one to the other. I'll close the citation and go back to my calendar. The link to the record shows here. Select the blue I button to reopen this now. Now that we have created our calendar, let's start to use it. When the calendar is opened or created, it will always show the current month, and the current day is highlighted in a cyan header. The days marked with a green header are dates that may still be modified. Any dates that have a red header are days that may not be modified any longer. You may navigate in the calendar using commands under the calendar menu or with the button bar. Choose previous month in the calendar menu to show the calendar for the previous month. Use the button bar here to see next month. Choose the button with the calendar with the green arrow pointing to the right. Or choose a specific month. Choose the button with the calendar and the two-ended arrow to go to a month. In the pop-up, set the year and month as desired and click OK. I'll go to April 2018. Now let's reserve a calendar slot to demo how other users may work in the calendar. We can open a new calendar slot to enter an event by clicking on the plus sign on a date. Now we will walk through the fields in the calendar slot. First, choose a status and a type if applicable. In this case, the ultracentrifuge reservation is very specific already, so we won't designate a type or status. These drop-down lists are maintained by the lab master. Examples of status are daily, weekly, or one-time events, and examples of types are classes, equipment reservations, meetings, etc. Type and status may be important to designate in other calendars that may contain different types of entries. These fields can make searching simpler. For all-day events, one should check all day here. For this example, all-day events would not be used regularly unless for warnings or notifications about servicing a machine, etc. Enter start and end dates and times, or choose your start and include a duration. I'll choose April 8th from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. One calendar slot may also span for multiple days if you choose. In this simple calendar, the field what will not be shown, so we will leave this blank. In other cases, depending on your lab's needs and policies, this field could hold a note for internal reference, etc. Now we just need to save this calendar slot. Choose Save as New Calendar Slot in the Calendar Slot menu here. Single click on the calendar slot to show more detail in the status bar at the bottom of the window. Or double click on a calendar slot to open it and view all details or to make a modification. To close a calendar slot, under the calendar slot menu click Close Calendar Slot or click the X button on the Windows title bar. To toggle between day and month view, click on the dark green bar showing the date to open the day view, and again to toggle back to the month view. Or click on the numeric day label to toggle the same way between the daily and monthly views. We may repeat a calendar slot at regular intervals. Open the calendar slot you wish to repeat. I'll double click on this one. Now choose Repeat Calendar Slot under the Calendar Slot menu. I want to repeat this reservation for 3 additional consecutive weeks. Under Interval Unit, I'll choose Week. For interval length, I'll choose 1 to repeat this every 1 week. And under Number of Repeats, I'll choose 3. Click OK. We may also use an existing time slot to add an additional date or to repeat. Just double-click the date to open and change the date or time. I'll choose Save as New Calendar Slot. This time I'll use the button on the button bar here to add a new additional calendar slot. Back to the main calendar, you can see this new entry here. To change the date or time of an existing calendar slot, first double-click to open the chosen slot. Make any desired changes to the calendar slot. I'll change the date to the following day. Now, choose Save Calendar Slot, also from the button bar here, to save this change to the calendar slot. Looking back at the calendar, the date has now been changed. To delete a calendar slot, first double-click on it to open it. Now, under the calendar slot menu, choose Delete Calendar Slot. Looking in the calendar now, we can see that this calendar slot has been deleted. We can use an existing calendar as a template to create a new calendar. For example, let's say we want to create an identical calendar for another ultracentrifuge in our lab. Just choose the calendar. I'll use the one we have open here and choose Save as New Calendar. You can see the settings in the top part are identical. The new calendar will be empty, and calendar slots or reserved dates in the calendar will not be copied or carried over. To delete a calendar, on the calendar menu, click Delete Calendar. If you are sure you want to remove the calendar from the database, click OK. A calendar may be deleted only by the user who created it. To use this calendar as a template for a new calendar that will also include a link in the database to this calendar, we can create a child calendar. Under Calendar in the menu bar, choose Save as New Child Calendar. A new calendar is now created with identical settings to the parent calendar and establishes a parent-child relationship between the two entries, which are now linked. The parents and children of a record are shown in the Linked Items field with a parent or child prefix in the name column respectively. To close a calendar, on the calendar menu, click Close Calendar or click the X button on the Windows title bar. Let's look at how to search for your lab's calendars. Let's go back to the main window in Scheherazade. Now, under Search in the menu bar, go to Calendar. First, I'll search by date. We'll keep the default here and search for calendars modified today. Now all the calendar records that fit the search criteria show. Double-click on a calendar to open it in the board. My own time slots show in the calendar and are marked with a yellow Y. Let's explore some reports we may create from this view. Under Report, choose My Calendar Slots to report in a downloadable table format the user's calendar slots for the month, including dates, duration, what, type, and status. This report is made out of the board and is querying only this active calendar. Or choose All Calendar Slots to report all entered calendar slots for the month. We may retrieve a web URL to share this calendar online. Under Report, choose Calendar URLs. Just copy and paste the URL that's appropriate, choosing from this month, next month, or previous, or today, tomorrow, or yesterday. Now, when we go to the URL in our browser, the calendar appears. We may browse through months here by using the next or previous commands at the top of the window here. We may also do more expansive searching and reporting if we switch to the main page in Scheherazade. I'll clear the search results using the button with the eraser here first. I may choose to search by calendar and then calendar slots. The dates here are set as a default to search for my calendar slots in the next 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and search for this. Double-click on any of the calendar slots to open one in the board. From here, we may view complete details or make further manipulations. I may also create a report from all calendar slots here. Under Report, choose Calendar and then Calendar Slots. Let's keep these default search settings to see all my calendar slots for the next 2 weeks. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. Please visit our web pages for any questions or for more information about Sesame.